Welcome to Web Design Tutorials for HTML. This is lesson number 8, and in this lesson we're going to talk about HTML formatting, and we're going to focus on the bold tag and the italics tag. And we're also going to talk about two other tags that are very similar in nature. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do is open up the HTML document that we worked on in the previous tutorial, and once you have that open, let's go ahead and click inside of the paragraph that says this is our second paragraph. And once you find that paragraph, let's click at the beginning of that starting paragraph. In other words, we click right before the word this. And let's go ahead and write an angle bracket, the letter B, and another angle bracket, and that's our starting tag for the bold. So this tag is going to create a bold text. And then at the end of that second paragraph, we're going to click and we're going to write an angle bracket / the letter B, and then another angle bracket. And what that's going to do is that's going to close that bold tag. And I'm actually going to click right after the end of this paragraph tag, and I'm going to hit enter just to bring that horizontal line on another line so that it doesn't look so confusing seeing three tags at the end there. But once you move that out the way, it should look a little bit cleaner. And if we go ahead and hit Control S and then find the file on our computer and double left click on it, it's going to bring up our information, and you will see that if you look in your web design page where it says this is our second paragraph, it's all in bold text. So that's how you format your HTML text to show as bold in your workspace on your website. So let's go ahead and close this out and go back to our document for HTML, and this time I'm actually going to erase that closing bold tag, and I'm going to place it only over the part that says this is. Right after the text is, we're going to write an angle bracket / the letter B, another angle bracket, hit Control S again, and then let's go ahead and go back to our web browser. Well, actually I got to go back to the file because I closed out my web browser. So go back to your file if you close your web browser out, double left click on it again, and it's going to show the differences. Now you'll see this time that it says this is, and that's the part that's bold, and the rest of it, our second paragraph, is not in bold, and that's because I only put the tags around the part that says this is. So you don't have to bold the whole paragraph. You can bold sections of it. And if you wanted to, you can bold this is in second paragraph and leave our as not bold. And let me show you that. So when you get back to your notepad document, this time we're going to leave this is as bold, and then we're going to place our cursor right before the word that says second, and write the angle bracket, the bold with the letter B, and then write angle bracket. And when I say the bold with the letter B, I just mean the lowercase b. You wouldn't actually try to bold that text. So just write it as you see it on my screen here. And once you write that opening bold tag right before the word second, right after the word paragraph, we're going to write, and after the period actually too, we're going to write the closing bold tag, which is just the / with the B, and hit Control S. And then let's go ahead and go back to our web browser and hit the refresh key up here. And when we refresh that, you'll see that this is in bold text, and second paragraph is also in bold text. So you can bold certain parts, you can bold one word, you can bold the whole paragraph, however you want to do it. And the same thing will apply to other HTML formatting tags. So let's go ahead and go back to my HTML document here, and let's go ahead and take a look at the italics tag. So for our third paragraph, we're going to place our cursor right before the word this, and we're going to write an angle bracket, the letter I, angle bracket, and then right after the word is, we're going to write the angle bracket and the / in that letter I and the angle bracket, and hit Control S. And let's go ahead and go back to our HTML document in our web browser and hit the refresh key. And this time you'll notice that this is in italics, but our third paragraph is all regular text. So the same actions will apply that I just showed you for the bold tag, but in this case it'll be for italics. So let's go ahead and go back to our HTML document again, and this time we're going to put the third paragraph in a different formatting using the emphasize tag. And the emphasize tag is written like this: angle bracket EM angle bracket, and then at the end of that we're going to close it with a closing EM tag, which again stands for emphasize. Now emphasize is just indicating that the text is important. It's going to basically render it out the same as the italics, which is the reason that I'm placing the emphasize tag inside that same paragraph. So the difference between italics and emphasize is just that EM is standing for emphasize. It's supposed to emphasize the text, and italics is just italics. Now they both emphasize it, it's just that they're kind of related. But the main thing that you should take away from this is when you use the emphasize tag, it could potentially render differently in a different web browser depending on what changes are made. So I would tend to stick with the italics. I'm just showing you this just to let you know that there's other tags that could potentially render out the exact same as the italics tag. So let me go ahead and hit Control S and go back to my web browser and hit the refresh key. And this time you'll see that the third part here where it says third paragraph is in italics, but this is actually considered emphasize to emphasize the text. So that there is a difference. So the main difference is it's considered emphasize, whereas italics is considered italics. So in my opinion, they're synonymous because they render out the same usually. So you shouldn't have any problems using either one. But let's go ahead and go back to our notepad here. And this time I'm going to go back to the paragraph that says this is our second paragraph. And I'm going to change that second paragraph text to something different. In this case, we're going to change it to strong. And again, strong is standing for emphasizing as well. It's not emphasizing, but it emphasizes that it's an important piece of text. And it's going to render out bold. And again, these are synonymous tags. They are essentially the same thing, but one stands for emphasize. But in my opinion, they are just the same tag for the most part. And they usually will render out the same, not always. And at the end of this paragraph, we're going to write the angle bracket /strong, then the angle bracket, hit Control S, and let's go ahead and go. And I got to remove that last bold here. Make sure you move this bold closing tag. I forgot to move that out of there. So your text should look something like what I have on screen here. Make sure that it looks the same. So I know we have a lot of tags here, so I'm going to leave that on screen for a second just to let you look at and see if it matches exactly what I have. So once you confirm that it matches everything, let's go ahead and hit Control S, go back to our web browser, and let's go. Oh, I didn't go back to my web browser. Okay, once you get back to the web browser, go ahead and hit the refresh key in your web browser. And when you hit the refresh key, you shouldn't see any changes. It should still look the same in terms of this is in our second paragraph. And you'll see that second paragraph still stays bold. But in this case, it's considered strong, or it's considered very important to, based on the tags that we gave it. So the second paragraph part is written with the strong tag, and this is written with the bold tag. Again, those should be pretty much synonymous. They're essentially rendering out the same thing. So hopefully you take away the understanding of how to accomplish giving your text a bold or italics visual formatting. And if you didn't understand this tutorial, let me know. I know it was a little bit more difficult in terms of seeing things on screen, so definitely let me know if you're not following. But if this tutorial was helpful, let me know I'm on the right track. Give me thumbs up, share, embed, comment, and subscribe. And I hope that you stay tuned for future tutorials for HTML. Have a great day.